All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise and glory unto you. Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shema Kakodash. Double honor to the apostle and elders, great millstone. Shalom to all the Akamai, the pushing the word, the sincerity and the truth. Yeah, you got this image right here. I seen it on social media, but they were speaking about Henry Kissinger recommending homosexuality for population control in the black community. And they got the full statements. What it says, security study memorandum. Matter of fact, I'm gonna jump into this and go into a few points, because we at war, and the so-called white man knows, through his governments, these Edomites, the highest point of their hierarchy, these elitists, they understand that in order to weaken and disable a nation, you kill them sexually, you kill them mentally, and how do you kill them sexually, since that's the topic at hand? You turn the men to a bunch of fucking fairy tales, man. What was that they had this show back in the day, Dragon Tales. You turn them into them, man. Turn them into a bunch of fucking Fruit Loops, for lack of a better term. And that's a lot of these different Jakes, they're into that, because it's been pushed. The agenda has been heavily pushed, to turn Jakes into homosexuals, sodomites. A lot of men actually getting sex changes and turning into women, transgenderism. That's big and popular and trending within the black Latino, especially. Hey, we always say, especially the black community, but especially in the Latino and Native American, I say more so Latino community. It's a lot of transgenderism going on, out South America, Central America and stuff like that. A lot of individuals, even blacks, go to, go down to South America, to get certain work done. You have, of course, Brazilian butt lifts that's very, very famous, from a surgical procedure, but you got all kind of surgeries going on, and that's crippling the strength of us as a nation, But I'm gonna read a little bit into this. It's on Melanated Knowledge. It says in 1974, Henry Kissinger recommended homosexuality for population control in black community. Yeah, because also homosexuality isn't pro-life. It activates death. A man's sole purpose sexually is to get with the opposite sex. See, it sounds so simple, but you got a lot of people that don't get it. Opposites attract. You take a negative and you take a positive magnet, they attract. All right. You take a negative magnet and a negative magnet, they oppose each other. All right. Take a positive magnet and a positive magnet, they're gonna oppose each other. So opposites attract. All right. You take a negative and a positive, and it produces what? Life. One of the laws, which is, written it as a commandment. I'll say commandment. Was to be fruitful and multiply. All right. You see. But it says in 1974, Henry Kissinger recommended homosexuality for population control in black community. In 2015, 16, and 17, the agenda is real. And you wonder why your son is punking and your daughter is dyking. Yeah, also the homosexuality in the, which is known, of course, as lesbianism. But the so-called female, I'll say the female so-called black community and so-called Latino and Native American community too, because a lot of these women are all about going down on each other. They got that mentality of that's opens up another can of worms. What do they call it? Eugenics, and then with women, they have this whole thing about that independent mentality, feminism. That's the kill the minds of women, man. They don't need a man. You had this woman condemning
other black women. She was like, man, these women are stupid as hell. They'll say XYZ, I don't need a man, and then let the government raise the children, but they'll have a child by a man, take the child and let the government raise the children and cripple the mind, want to be independent and want to work all these hours on the job, get off the job, and then don't have enough energy to take care of their own children, man. So this is an agenda, man. You see, and this is one amongst many things that's going on to keep us strangled and constrained and basically depressed by the oppressor himself, the so-called white race, man. You see? So it says, and you wonder why your son is punking and your daughter's dyking. Homosexuality as a population control strategy in the black community. I'm going to jump down. In 1972, the Rockefeller World Population Council, with influence from Planned Parenthood, I just said that, and I haven't even went through this part of the article, association decided it would be best if homosexuality would be no longer treated as an abnormal condition and that it be propagated in the black community as a healthy life choice. Yeah, because even when you go back in the day, you can go in 2 articles, homosexuality was known as a mental disorder, man. You see? Which it is a mental disorder. Oh, it got in the site, in the same article. And I wasn't even paying that any mind, but we went into that years ago, but then they actually repackaged it and rebranded it as, like they said right here, a healthy life choice. But it says in 1973, homosexuality was voted out of the DSM as a mental disorder. In 1974, Secretary of State Henry Kissinger created National Security Study Memorandum 200, implications of worldwide population growth for U.S. security and overseas interests. Yeah, so like I said, we're at war, man. The enemy is all about keeping us below and beneath them. But that's why the scripture says to gather yourselves together, O nation not desired, and it's about bringing forth the men of the nation. All right. It says, unto you, O men, are called, and my words is unto the sons of men, and it also speaks about he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. So in order to really put the enemy down, you have to tap into the fullness of your strength. You have to, scripture speak about putting on your strength, Jacob, which is manhood, man. That's why starting up with the apostles on down, we push growing your beard, you men, not having these funny weirdo, like I said, these fairy tale hairstyles, all these different weirdo, and it's homosexual colors that a lot of these jakes put in. It's not that colors are itself is homosexual, but the color choice, entails it's effeminate. You see Jake with orange and purple in their hair. Like, what the hell is you doing, man? The Most High is raising up men. All right. And it ain't about being, see, you got a lot of these city boys, always about being pretty, man. This truth ain't about being pretty, man. Most High is raising up warriors. All right. That the heaviest stock of Israel through the respective tribes, which is the most condensed men, even if you see brothers on the highways and byways, we not the most fair looking, brothers, but it's all about getting the job done. All right. Spiritual grunts. So Zephaniah 2, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Yeah. So we're the nation that's not desired. We're the nation that get condemned because the enemy knows our strength. All right. That's why he tries to disable our strength, because if we tap fully in it into Yahweh Shem Shai, first and foremost into the wisdom, knowledge and understanding of the Lord, then we're a force to be reckoned with. That's that golden army. Back in the day they had this Hellboy, the second one, when it got released, wasn't too far back, but they had the golden army. We are that golden army that's asleep. It tells you that in the book of Ezekiel. The bones, and see here, now is the time for the bones to be stacked and gathered back together. Oh, and I'm gonna get that and probably close to fight against this enemy. You know, the Lord is raising up the tribes, man. That's why we always say Kwam Yashala, which is a spiritual war chant. And we say the more we roar that out in the spirit, we see that more Israelites are waking up. You see? So this is Zechariah 9:13. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece.